Thank you, Rita, and the whole organizing team of this event. I sincerely appreciate. As rightly introduced, my name is Emmanuel Ismail. Some of you know me as Magnified or Marshall or whichever name you prefer. Yeah. So I feel like it's going to be right for me to start by asking this question: that how many of you want to know the best offer when it comes to like full funding opportunities? Or maybe how many of you want to take your next degree with tuition waived, with monthly stipend, without you taking any obligations actually. So you want maybe like your apartment, your accommodation, your lifestyle covered, and sometimes even your trips to other parts of the world, like something that will get over here very easily. And sometimes even if you pay for visa and your relocation, your airfare, they reimburse it or they even pay you for all those bills. How many of you want that? Okay, good. So now I feel like it's something that everybody wants. That is why you are here. But beyond that enthusiasm, there are some things that I feel like you should know that will help you in your graduate school application. And I'm being sincere with you. And as a scientist, let me say a budding scientist, I've learned to know that you should be more interested in your far future goals than the near future goals. So when we're talking about far future, we're talking about 50 years, 100 years, 20 years, while the near future is 5 to 10 years. So when you see a lot of people like graduate students, some of them are more interested in the near future than the far future. And the reason why anytime I try to like mentor people or try to like tell them about garbage applications and help people, thank God I've helped a lot of people. But anytime I try to do this, the first question I ask them is, why do you want to study abroad? You understand? And what is the definition of abroad to you? So for some people, I know that some of you are looking for citizenship, some of you are using to command respect, some of you are looking for career advancement, whichever way. And for citizenships, I know that some of you want maybe like permanent residency pathway. Some of you are interested about the global passport for you to travel around the world, especially if you're in the Schengen region. Some of you want better opportunities for your career, for your jobs. You want higher pay. Some of you just want improved quality lifestyle. You don't want to die at 48 like Nigeria in Nigeria. Some of you want global mobility. Some of you want security and stability for your children, for your future generation. Some of you want social perception, that you want people to respect you in your family. Some of you want global networks. Some of you want ambassadorship, global identity, and some of you want global competitiveness, or you want maybe like you want to take on better leadership opportunities, or you want to gain cutting edge skills and be a part of those that are taking um innovative practice. You want to be a part of people that are making groundbreaking research. And these are some of the things that motivate people. But the truth is, these are just very good on the outside. But deep down, I feel like you should know what is actually propelling you, what is fueling your ambition to say that you want to take an international degree. And that question, I struggled to answer the question while I was trying to apply for scholarships. It was at a critical point in my life that I discovered that I need to really answer that question. And I'm going to tell you that there are four things that you need for applying to scholarships. Just four things. You understand? The first one is you need clarity of purpose. You know what you need to do and how you need to do it, when and how. You understand? So you need clarity. What did I want to get? For someone like me in animal sciences now, I finished in animal sciences. We have a lot of fields in animal sciences. We have nutrition, we have physiology, we have environmental climatology, we have genetics, we have biotechnology. We have a lot of fields. We have AI and precision. So now we have agribusiness also related to animal sciences. So what do I want to do? You need clarity of purpose. You need cohesion. Is it aligned? Is it your background aligned with your future? And is that degree aligned with the far future? You need consistency. When this actually applies when you're trying to apply to programs, and when you look at your portfolio throughout, and you need conciseness, that brevity of purpose. It's not like today you apply for one program in machine learning, tomorrow you apply for one for another one in food science, the next day you apply for another one in business education or something like that, because they are having scholarships or sponsorship or something like that. No. But although there are ways in which you can apply for these opportunities, like I will tell you when you need to shoot your shot for any opportunity that you see. But you need to have these four things: clarity, cohesion, consistency, and consistency. They are very important. Because of time, I'm just trying to like rush this out for you, but I feel like I was asked to talk about the application materials that you need. So for me, I feel like the application materials that you need are, it depends on the program you're applying to for. And for me, I think you should do your homework on the eligibility requirement of the program that you're applying to. Let me share a big story with you. Why I was trying to apply, I started applying to programs. I started preparing for graduate education in my fourth year. That is my FP1. And so you can testify. Yeah. So and during this process, even while I was campaigning, I was writing essays. And one of the things that I tried to do was that I tried to look at the admission requirements, and I was trying to like prepare my portfolio around it. Yeah. And one of the things that shocked me the most was during our FY, Philip got one opportunity to travel to another country in Africa, and he asked me, Marshall, do you have a passport? And I told him so that we can travel, we can apply for this opportunity together. And I told him that I don't have a passport. And by the time I'm going to like attempt to get my passport and look at all the chronology around all the kind of all the process that it's involved, I felt like I'm not going to meet up with the deadline. So that point in time, I felt that I betrayed myself because I was not ready for that opportunity, even though the opportunity was there. And this is why I feel like you need to be ready before you start applying, and you need to know when you should apply. And that is one of the questions I ask people. I used to ask them, when are you planning to travel? If you are trying to apply today, when are you likely to travel? Because if you don't have answer to that question, you might suffer in this process. That is just the truth. And why am I saying this? Because during my FY, I started applying, and one of the things I did in my final year was that I reached out to a lot of people. I started going to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to a lot of social media handles, and I was connecting with a lot of Funabites outside the world in my field. I studied animal production, and I was willing to go into animal genetics or biotechnology. And even though I had the opportunity to study in nutrition and biochromatology, I refused some of those offers. You understand? And fortunately for me, in my final year, second semester, I got a scholarship to Canada for a 1 year degree. I was applying for a 2 year program, and I got a year program. It was shocking, right? But one of the things that happened to me at that point in time was that I had assistantship opportunity, a guided assistantship. But at that point in time, I tried in myself to raise the funding for airfare, the visa fee, and a lot of that. And in that process, when I saw that I didn't have the ability to raise those funds, and I'm kind of person that I don't want shouting around about this when I feel like I have a better portfolio to apply to other programs, and I just shut that opportunity. And later on, it was while I was speaking to people that I get to realize that I lost that important opportunity. But I'm saying this because sometimes we apply to programs and we are not ready for that opportunity. That's why I need to ask you that question. Are you ready to travel in time? So when we look at those admission requirements, number one, some of you will apply to programs, you get full funding. Some of you will get partial funding. And there are a lot of partial funding now than full funding, even though they are full funding also. And for me, I feel like for the documents required, let me just talk about the document. Number one, you need maybe like test requirement like English proficiency text, or maybe like GRE, you need IELTS or TOEFL. You can look around it. For another, you need maybe like SATs, and some schools ask you to sit for their exam also. So you also look at okay, you also look at your district certificates. You need to get your district certificate for now, almost like when you are done, because I got mine in my final. Immediately I finish, you need your transcripts. And some of you, for some countries, especially for those of you who are going to Schengen region, for me also, I did evaluation of my degree for the embassy of the country you are going to. You need to write application essays. Some of you write statements of purpose or personal statement. Some of you write cover letters for applying to direct positions like PhD positions. I've done a lot of that. Some of you write a lot of essays, like admission essay in real time for some of competitive scholarship, like Mandela Rhodes, Queen Elizabeth, like Chef Dean, and a lot of that. You need your international passport. You need language proficiency, like I said, your IELTS and all that. Standardized test, you need letter of recommendations from your supervisor, 2 to 3. And for me, I advise that you get off like 10 referees, so that if you're applying for this program, you can exchange based on the skills or the proficiency of that supervisor to apply to another program. That is just my trick around it. Look, you need 2 to 3, but for me, I prefer you can get up to like 7, so that you didn't get complaints or they don't get fatigued when you're trying to apply to different programs. Then some people ask you for application fee. Some of them don't request for each. Some is around $75 to $150 or $200, whichever. But I think it's around $50 to $150. So you need to research proposal or study plan for some programs, especially some PhD programs. They require that also. So I feel like those are some of the main important. But these are not rigid. These requirements depend on the programs. You understand that you're applying to. So you should try to work around which of these requirements that your school needs. So for me, like I said, during my NYSC, sorry, during my final year, my first semester in final year, one of the things I do was I was very much interested in going to maybe like US, Canada. I attended the UK for whatever reasons. And I told my friends that the only reason why I'll go to the UK is I'm going for PhD programs. And even the US and UK, I was applying to only PhD programs. I was not applying for masters. You understand? And the only programs that I applied for masters to, some of them they had me on wait list. In Canada, in US, I was on wait list. Some of them told me that I was going to they are going to consider me for spring admissions, for fall admissions, back again, back and forth, and all that. So I'm telling you that I'm just going to talk about the CV later. So now, if you look at it, I was applying to Ivy League schools and I was pitching for PhD programs, not considering the factors around my portfolio, my background, and a lot of stuff like that. So, and at the end of the day, I was looking at the competition ratio and I was saying that imagine out of 100% of the applicants, they are taking almost like 2 to like 4% of the applicants. And some of these applicants had master's degree. Why? I only have a bachelor's degree. So, and I feel like I need to tell you this that it's not only first class that matters. I've seen a lot of people that have 2-2 that get scholarship fully funded. I have to be sincere with you. 2-2, they're fully funded. And I've seen also people with a top class that are fully funded with PGD and all that. And so whether you have 2-1, whether you have 2-2, whether you have first class, you can get a full funding. You understand? So for those of you that you have maybe like a low grade, but strive to get a better grades. I'm just trying to tell you, strive for it. It depends on how you pitch yourself. You understand? And for me, one of the things that I tried to do was I created a list of all the top schools that I want to go in the US and Canada, and for my discipline, for my SAC plan, and I wrote the name of the school, the name of the program, the guiding coordinator for the school, their emails, the supervisor I wanted to work with, and I started shooting them cold emails. You understand? Some of them were responding, some of them told me they didn't have students, some of them said I should wait for the next term, and lots of that. Some of them gave me consent, and some of them after a while. But some of them I got scholarship in the US, but some of them revoked my scholarship because of the constraint that has to do with Trump and in a lot of that, removing the funding that they no longer said they don't have funding. There's some scholarship I got that they told me that unless I submit my transcript evaluation, which is worse, that they're not going to consider me for the admission. I already have the admission, but they said they can't take me in without worse evaluation. There's some schools that basically told me, even the one that my supervisor in, he told me that if I have GRE, there's 100% chance for me to come to their school, but I don't want to sit for GRE. So I'm telling you that there was a program I also got to their mail this morning, even after like 2 years, after a year, and they're telling me that I should submit what's it called, my GRE, so that they can consider me for their PhD. So I'm telling you this so that you can know that the admission requirements is also very important for you to know this program or school you are going to. So because of brevity of time, let me just put it this simple, okay? So one of the things that I did, I listed all those schools and I was applying, I was shooting for it, and it really helped me a lot. You understand? But another thing that I feel like I defaulted in that angle was that I was just opening my eyes to US and Canada. I was only looking at opportunities in Australia and other European regions.